Hello everybody, thought we'd do a pre-installation video. So the installation's been done today, and also the other videos we keep going on about it, so we thought we'd show you a pre-installation video. So we have a wife, Nemi, wife. So that's our flooring, so it's battened obviously to take the plywood, and it is 47mm. This is at the bottom. So we've been told we need a 50mm gap. However, because it's closed cell foam, we've been told that it doesn't fill. 50mm is enough basically to have insulation and then maybe run some cables or services in it. So 47mm should be fine. Should, hopefully. So that's 47mm, and then the same with the ceiling. However, with the ceiling, you can see there we've got plenty enough. So this is 30mm. That's 30mm, and then these straight battens. So we've got, this is 47 and 30. So we've got loads of room for insulation. And then we've boxed. Obviously, we've got the skylights into there, boxed in, so that can insulate up to there. The walls are. The existing walls, this metal stuff here, is 25mm, so from there to there is 25. No, sorry, it's 30mm up to there. And then we've just added 20mm battens on top, so that gives us our 50mm. And then the rear wall is CLS, C16 timber, so it's actually 63mm, that is. So again, it's more than enough, more than 50 for there, which is plenty. And then we've closed up the steps so they don't insulate that bit. Close the window up so they don't get any sticky stuff on the window. So we've been told it's quite a messy job. So just to save the risk, we've just covered it, because if it gets on anything, it never comes off. We've just got to cover up the skylights. Just put some boarding or card around there just to block them off. And then, which is this stuff here. And then the other bit, just move that, is they insulate directly on top of that. So these are hovering off this fiberglass, so they'll insulate sort of into there, and it'll expand all round. And then we haven't battened this bit because we don't know how to. It's a weird shape, so we've been told that they will just fire the insulation on 50mm, and then all we'll do after is put some thin lightweight plywood just to curve it, so it just covers it really, just so it can decorate it, make it look pretty. We need to ask them if they can do the door, which I think they will. So that's 47mm sawn timber, the same we've used on the floor. And that's everything, isn't it? So basically the insulation is going everywhere. It's going mad. How'd you get it off? Oh, can you get? Yeah, did you get it off, like once it just falls off, like? What about your hair? You got to cut your hair out. van is insulated. Would you like to see? Ta-da! Check it out. We have an insulated van. Or an igloo. Looks like an igloo. So that saved us probably a week's worth of work. Just going to clamber inside and give you a tour. So every wall has been, floor's done obviously. There's the floor. All the walls, they've done the door, the ceiling. So you can see the ceiling how it sets. It's not rock hard, it's slightly soft underneath, but it's got like a shiny finish on the top. So that's like a bit of a vapour barrier as well. But instantly, it's literally about 5 seconds after it's sprayed on, it's set. So we can obviously work with it now. We can trim any excess. All this will stay, we're not bothered about that. Some of the floor bits need just slight trimming, but that's not an issue at all. And then we can get the floor in, start trimming bits. Take the bits off the windows, see how much light we've got. And that's the back door, so they've done all the back as well. That's a bit dark. But literally every crack and crevice. So above here, I don't know if you remember seeing, this is obviously the ceiling beam, but above here there was all little bits, crevices, and it's just absolutely rammed full of insulation. Amazing. So now we've had the experience of having a van spray foam insulated, thought we'd give you a bit of a overview of the experience. So it took the lads probably a couple of hours maybe to get the whole thing done. When they're doing it, it gets incredibly warm in the van because when this is sprayed on, it gets really hot. When I was talking to the guy, he reckoned it get up to about 150 degrees when it's touching the metal. So it gets very hot. So obviously in the environment, it's really warm and there's like a bit of a mist in the air because of all the residue. And when we were asking the question if people have had spray foam insulation done on the van, a lot of people were saying that it warps panels and it can actually ruin the van. Some of these views were from people who haven't had it done. It was just horror stories they've been told. But we can assure you it's fine. And the two lads who came to do this van were absolutely amazing. And because it was a van, they took the time and did the best job they could. So when they spray onto the walls, obviously they do the first coat on, let it dry and cool down. So it only takes 30 seconds, a minute to cool, and then spray another coat sort of on top. And I asked him the question of, would it warp the panels? And he said basically, yes, it can, only if you're not basically taking care and attention. So if you're spraying a big deep layer straight onto the walls, you're going to get more heat, which in turn could warp and destroy the panels. So as long as you're having it done by people who know the environment they're working in, like a van and metal walls and things like that, it's absolutely fine. Like I say, it's because this spray foam is water based as well. So working with this one, the water, it's like just spraying water on the walls and it expands. So the chemical gets into all the cracks and crevices. So every crack and crevice is filled. I mean, you can see up here, look how it's all filled. So it really has got into everywhere. I mean, even here, look, there was like a groove there, and I don't know if you've seen another video. I could actually show you another bit of the video where there's grooves up here. So it's all the bits of metal are covered. And other than that, it was a lot less messier than we were expecting as well. It might look quite messy. There's obviously overspray, but that can't be helped, so that's fine. And there's a few little lumps we need to cut back, but again, that's absolutely fine. It's not an issue. We'd rather the job be done properly, and like the guys were saying, they said they'd rather overspray than underspray, so it's all covered, which is great. So yeah, the company we used were called PROTEC, and we'll put all their details in the description. And obviously we highly recommend them. And then throughout the process, they made us check to make sure we were happy. And obviously any bits they would have missed if we saw, they would happily just come and touch up for us, so we can't complain. And already it feels warmer, weirdly, and it feels more solid and enclosed, so we're going to take these off to bring some light in, and then start trimming a few bits back so we can get the floor down, and then we're away. Also, this is what they call closed cell spray foam, so this here is 50 mil up to that point, about 55 mil, so you can see it's a lot less than 50 mil in some places. Others it's slightly more, but in general it's probably about 40 mil, 45 mil, which is fine. So if you go for the open cell, it can expand up to 100 mil, we've been told. So obviously it's a lot more than this, because they use that in lofts, and then in like new builds, shipping containers that are converted, they use the 100 mil open cell. But closed cell's perfect for vans because it's a lot harder, more dense, and it just acts as more of a sound barrier. So what I'll show you the outside, just to show how it's not warped any panels or anything like that. The panels are exactly as they were. Also where they've sprayed in there, if you can remember, it's just fiberglass. Well, it was fiberglass. So obviously all this is done, and they've just sprayed straight on top, all over there. So I'll give you a little view of the outside. So here we are. Excuse if it's a bit windy. So you can probably see, I don't know if you can see very well. There's obviously a few dents and things on the panel, but you can tell there's literally no change at all. No ripples or anything. And when they spray a panel inside, you can actually feel the heat coming through, which is quite amazing. But the old knock test, these are solid now, whereas before, if you press them, they actually moved, because it's only 0.5 mil thick, this aluminium sheet. So before, this would, I'm putting all my weight into that, it's not moving. So before, that would literally, with a finger, it would move, whereas now, it's not even moving at all. Fantastic. So we've just got a big block of insulation now. Very happy. And then we'll show you the front, so you can see it's not done any changes or anything to the. This is just a fiberglass mould, so it's all been sprayed in there, and it's not affected it at all. So while we're inspecting, we might as well go up on the roof. Plus it's sunnier up on the roof as well. So you can see there, little bits come through here, which to be honest is fine, because at least we know it's full of foam. So yeah, there's a little bit there, a little bit on the edges, but I mean that adds to insulation and being watertight. Same with that one there, that's amazing. And you can see there's no damage to the roof at all. It's still as mucky as ever. But there's no cracks or bulges. So you can see there, look, it's got a slight curve, the roof obviously, but it's still as it was. It's not changed. If anything, it's just, whereas before it moved, it's like rock hard now. I wouldn't stand on it, obviously, still go through, but that is solid. So we are very happy peoples. So yeah, if you've got any more questions or you would like to know anything else, drop us a comment below. We're happy to help out as much as we can. Because even though we did work out, this is about 3 times more expensive than if we did put Celotex, which Celotex is like insulation boarding, so it's thicker boarding. but it's better insulation all round, this spray foam. It saved us, we roughly thought it would take probably 3 or 4 days, maybe up to a week, to install the Celotex properly, to do it, you know, properly and cover it. But that still wouldn't have filled all the tiny gaps, so yeah, it saved us a lot of time, a lot of effort. And yeah, and now it gives us a perfect platform to carry on, which is amazing. So yeah, thanks for watching again, guys. So again, I hope it's been an informative, helpful video, and happy van building. So we've got, there's the back of the van.